being with us tonight. I think it's a great thing for democracy that people just come and discuss their ideas, and if we do disagree, then hopefully we can disagree well and do things in a respectful manner. It's not about parties, it's a referendum. We're not choosing the government, we're making a major decision. So it doesn't matter whether you're in the Lib Dem party, the UKIP party, the Conservative party, the Labour party, or you just like garden parties or Christmas parties, and what good policies they might have. It doesn't matter, because what it's about tonight is just, is it the right thing for us to stay in the EU? I'd like to particularly thank, tonight's been organised by Lee Lee, but I particularly thank the bravery of two Lib Dems coming into the Lion's Den and sorry, 3 Lib Dems. Just a few housekeeping notes. In case of fire, there's just one door and you go through it quickly. If you need the toilets, they're just through that door to the side.
That's the men.
There. That's the most...
Oh,
sorry, thank you. Well, that was the only one I went to anyway. I'd like to introduce the speakers who are going to speak tonight. The plan of action tonight is simply this. There will be 4 short speeches with a maximum of 7.5 minutes, and Russ will be the arbiter of all things just and fair in the middle there, and he's even got a bell. The rest of the evening, because the idea is to really be finished by about 9 o'clock. If you want to stay behind afterwards, I'm sure the bar would much appreciate it. But if you just want to stay along and ask questions and discuss it, then that'd be great. I'll introduce the 4 people who are going to speak in the order that they're going to speak. Over on the far side over there, it's John Skipworth. John is the chairman of the local Lib Dems, and it's an area branch that covers Wigan, Makerfield and Lee. He was the parliamentary candidate for Makerfield. I didn't ask you how well you did.
We'll leave that to one side.
Okay, we'll leave that to one side. He was also a recent local council candidate in Hindley, and he's a keen chess player, so there's an astute mind there. I will be the second speaker. My name's Trevor Bell. I'm a retired person. In my spare time, I'm one of the leaders at the Lee Sports Village Church. Meets every Sunday at 4:30 in the Lee Harris building. And I also have the job responsibility of managing the charity that is attached to our church, which is a debt charity, which gets people in the local area out of debt. And we do free training for people so they don't get into debt in the first place, and do budgeting. And I'm also a fan of Bolton Wanderers, and I know what it's like to live in the rough times. Our third speaker tonight, following on from the sporting idea, is John Thomason. John Thomason is again a member of the local Liberal Democrats. He's the treasurer of the local branch. He's also setting up Lib Dems Friends in Sport, keen on rugby league. I'm not going to ask you which your favourite rugby league team is. None of the local ones. Mystery there. And our final speaker tonight will be Jason Hargreaves-Lomax, who is the... I apologise. Jason Lomax Hargreaves. All the words, but not necessarily in the right order. And he is the chairman of UKIP. He stood in the local Lee West council elections and only narrowly was beaten by a few hundred votes. And in his spare time, he's a keen follower of Liverpool Football Club, who knows a little bit more success than mine does. Okay. If you want to carry on.
Yeah, I'm Russ Edison. I'm just going to be timing these chats on how long they take, and then we'll give you all a chance to ask questions afterwards. So thank you very much for everyone that's turned up tonight, and if we can start, if that's all right with you, John?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay at the back there?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't worry with the mic then. Because knowing my luck, we'd get feedback and you wouldn't hear a word. Okay, I'm John Skipworth. I'm chairman of Wigan Lee Makerfield Liberal Democrats, and I believe we should remain in the European Union. Very, very simply, it is best for our children and our grandchildren, and in my case, my great-grandchild as well. Why? We've had one key thing that has changed the pattern of Europe. In the last 70 years, there has been no European civil war. As Churchill said, long ago, jaw is better than war. So the fact we've got a union and nations and countries working together is a vital part in keeping our peace. But then beyond it, we have the largest single free trade area in the world, a market of 700 million people, a market that our companies, our exporters can trade in, a market that gives you benefits as families approximately £3,000 a year in reduced prices. How many of you went on a holiday overseas last year? Only one? Two? Maybe more? Three? This year, if you use your mobile phone, roaming charges have come down, and they're going to come down again next year, thanks to the EU. You've got other advantages. We get money coming back from the EU. You hear about the money that is spent on the EU. Yes, money is spent on the EU. 2.7%, I think this is, with probably a few decimal points in there as well, of the total government budget goes to the EU. About 350 quid per family. So you get 10 times back. You hear a lot about immigration. There's too many immigrants coming over. Well, there's just over 2 million EU citizens working in the UK at the moment and in the UK. There's about 2 million UK citizens in the rest of the EU, whether it's people who've chosen to retire to Spain, or people who are going working abroad and are over there for 6 months, sometimes 2 years, sometimes 15 years. It depends on what people want to do, but we have the free movement of people across the border. No need to get a visa before you go on that foreign holiday. No need to worry about where you're going so much. In basic health care, you've got your European health insurance card to give you access to basic health care if anything happens to you on that holiday. A lot of positive things that are EU generated. Just locally, in Lee and in the rest of Wigan, over the last 3 years, we have benefited enormously from the infrastructure development, particularly in broadband, funded partly by the EU. So that is an example of money coming back into the country. What else is there? Well, we compete equally as a nation with our fellow partners. My colleague is going to say a little bit more about how the EU is run and how things work for you. But mainly, I put it to you that the first advantage is the free trade area that we work in and the various opt-outs that the UK has. Mention has been made in the Leave campaign about the number of people who could join. Do remember that no country can join the EU if the UK vetoes it. And finally, one key point. I've always been taught it's better to be in and negotiating and working together than being outside the debate and waiting for things to be posted. How am I doing to time, sir?
Oh, you've got 3 minutes left yet.
Right, that's okay, because I'm trying to work on that clock there. I'm not saying too much. Right, I'm not going to take all 3 minutes. But you are making a choice. I've already made my choice, by the way. I wrote my post, and my ballot paper went off. And you can probably guess how I voted. But I'll leave that to your imagination. Key bit that I want you to think about is not for you, not for my generation of people who are retired, but for the youngsters over there. What sort of world do they want to live in? I believe they are better in a world which is multinational, where we're working together for the benefit of all. Remaining was a no-brainer for me, because I believe it is the best thing for Britain. And I believe that we can do a great deal. We've done a great deal already. And do remember that we tried to join what was then the common market twice. And the French said no. I think it's because they didn't quite like our influence. We're in there now with 27 other nations. We have a veto on certain things, we have opt-outs on other things, but they can't be enforced on us. The most recent agreement is that finally the EU now recognises that it works on two currencies. We have the euro and we have the pound sterling, and they are recognised in EU law. I'm going to stop there, save a bit of time because you're going to hear me again at the end of the session and I'll be answering questions as they come up. Thanks for listening quietly and please think hard about your decisions.